Freedom Fighters, issue 6. Robert Venditti writing with Eddie Barrows on the art. Matt definitely read this. Cora,
Oh, I definitely read this.
are you behind in this?
Yeah, I've been behind since before you were behind.
Before I was behind, yes.
Damn.
Yes. I want to catch up on this, but I keep not having time.
Get,
Now, admittedly...
get caught up.
But, no, Matt, so tell us about Freedom Fighters, issue 6.
So Overman has entered the game, and yeah, he's Nazi Superman, and you see that he landed on Earth in 1939, but not in Smallville, Kansas, right in the middle of Nazi occupied Germany, and he becomes the ultimate weapon, and why the Nazis are basically able to win.
So you could say that he's the last Reich of Krypton.
Yeah, the last Reich of Krypton. But this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Is like he has some doubts over this, and it's what kind of leads to Uncle Sam and the Freedom Fighters being able to fight them so effectively. Is he he doesn't necessarily think like during World War II, that's one thing, but once you've conquered, it's a little bit different. So it kind of instills that's why they were able to have these heroes occupy the U.S. and whatnot. And it ties into multiversity to where the death of Overgirl leads Overman to leave Earth. But, the Razzies still need their Overman, so they started doing tests and experiments, and they ended up making one work on one Heinrich Henshaw, and we end up with Cyborg Overman. I got way too excited on this. Because basically what happens is Overman comes and attacks, and the Führer, Adolf II.
Yes, Junior.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to do this because this is, holding your super weapon, that you use as a deterrent. You don't actually use it. But his son and his advisor's like, yeah, but we're going to start losing the U.S. if we let the Freedom Fighters go, so just do it. And he's like, well, his son's like, well, don't have him do it too much because I want people to torture. So when they unleash him, the Freedom Fighters start fighting him back, and he just starts going through them. And you're like, oh, man, is this Superman like that hardcore? And you find out that they've had him in this chamber, which they showed in the last issue, just being shown Nazi propaganda through this whole time. So it's almost, you get this vibe like the more he's been sitting there just absorbing the energy, the more powerful he's become. And it's almost made him demented. And he starts fighting, and Human Bomb ends up taking off his helmet, and they teleport the rest of the Freedom Fighters out with Uncle Sam, and he just lets the cyborg have him. That's when you find out that he is a cyborg. And they see it before they teleport out, and they're like, oh, okay, well, we know we're not fighting the real Overman, so this makes it a little bit more. And yeah, but that's basically the issue. It's basically a fight between the Freedom Fighters and Overman, where he tears through them all before they can get out, and it looks like maybe Human Bomb didn't make it quite out. But it's kind of up in the air where this leaves. But we also get Uncle Sam being introduced to this new generation of Freedom Fighters, and the only one he recognizes is Doll Woman, who is the wife of the original Doll Man, and that he brings up where it tied into multiversity, where they try to bring Uncle Sam back that one time, but it cost them the Ray and Phantom Woman. And so this ties directly into that continuity. So I'm curious to see where this is going, because now suddenly multiversity is being tied into with alternate Earths and whatnot, And then what we see, that's what's making me want to check out the Green Lantern, and this is why I'm such a nerd for continuity, is that it looks like it's tying into multiversity. And so, yeah, oh man, a lot of fun. I had no idea we were going to be getting Cyborg Overman, and they did the thing that you kind of want to see in one of these things, where they just, turn the name from Hank Henshaw to Heinrich, Heinrich H. Henshaw, so becomes a Cyborg Overman. Hooey.
Yeah, what are you giving it?
Yeah. Give this an 8.5. I'm really digging the series. And once they teased Overman, and I didn't really think they're going to get into Multiversity, because I thought that was interesting, because leave it to Morrison to kind of humanize Nazi Superman and have him be upset over his I think she was the clone. She was a female clone of him. That's how they use that. But he just leaves that Earth. But here they got to have the cake and eat it too. And, I'm sure it's not the last we'll see of him.